and welcome to the Max. Today on the farm, I'm a little wet right now because I just got through moving pumpkins. Those are a couple of the pumpkins that we've picked this year. If y'all have been keeping up with our videos, Colby really has been showing y'all a lot of the pumpkin picking that we have been doing. I want to give y'all just a quick glimpse. So that's one pile. There's another pile. I just finished that little arrangement right there. I'm working on the ones over there, and then I have the ones on the table too. So the pumpkins have really just started showing up and showing out. This is our first year with just like a really fantastic harvest. So very excited about that. Colby was really completely in charge of the pumpkins from planting to, I've moved some water a couple of times, but he also harvested. He is down there on that side of the farm a lot more than I am. Hey guys, thank y'all for jumping on. And I tend to manage more or less this side of the farm, but Colby has done a fantastic job. Actually, that piece right there I just finished, and I think it turned out super cute. And we have sold some pumpkins off the farm, and they're all in the house, and they're all on the front porch. If you guys didn't see the last video of me actually taking a lot of our pumpkins that we grew to a yard market, and I participated in a yard market that was not far from us, Michigan. Hey, thanks for jumping on, guys. And was able to sell some pumpkins that we grew right off the farm. And I did bring some home. Y'all, we just had a whole truckload. So, and this was the first year with the yard market, which I think is a super cool idea. It's everything from a farmer's market mixed to with kind of like a yard sale and like a buy, sell, and trade, kind of all mixed together. So really cool concept there. I enjoyed that. But of course, we still have pumpkins. And Jennings asked yesterday, hey mom, when daddy gets off, are we going to be able to go down and harvest pumpkins? And I was like, yes. But then it just absolutely flooded here. So the answer to that is probably actually no, because it is so wet. Okay, guys. Yes, pumpkins. So actually, Colby loves pumpkin pie. I don't particularly like pumpkin pie, but he requested one this year. And since, again, I'm going to turn y'all around and just show you this set of how many pumpkins we have right here, I will have plenty enough pumpkin to make him a pumpkin pie. So that is on the agenda for this fall for sure. So I want to jump into a couple of things. You guys know that cold and flu season is right up here, like here it is. And I want to mention a couple of things that I use for my family that really helps us through fall and winter. So the first one I want to jump into is probably what I have been doing the absolute longest, and that is elderberry syrup. I have it right here. Now, I started out buying elderberries from Amazon, organic Amazon. There are a couple of different companies that sell elderberries. When I was looking years ago, before my trees were up and established, my main thing is I wanted organic. So elderberry syrup, what is in this batch? So I made a batch for the yard market, and then I made a batch for us. So I'm going to tell y'all what I put in the yard market, which is the very basic. So organic elderberries, I did organic cinnamon sticks, I did organic ginger, I did organic rose hips. So basically it's more or less, so people hear elderberry syrup and they want to put in their mind that it's like a syrup, like maple syrup or honey or blackburn syrup that you'd buy from the store. So that is not at all actually the idea of elderberry syrup. It's more along the lines of a tea is what I would say. So there are tons and tons of recipes out there. I'm not going to try to call all this off from memory. Guys, there are lots of good herbalists out there that share their recipes. Growing Up Herbal is one of them that I could recommend to y'all. I do follow a lot of her stuff, and she is a certified herbalist, and she is great. So with that being said, I usually will take my pot and fill it with water, add my elderberries, cinnamon sticks, ginger, rose hips. Now in mine personally, I also added echinacea root and hibiscus flowers. So I just threw out a bunch of stuff for y'all. You can jot those down or type them on your phone and then send them to yourself. And then I would encourage y'all to go read about some of those things that I mentioned, learn about them and what they do for your body. So that is what's actually in my elderberry syrup. Now, I do not grow my own hibiscus flowers, but I do have my own echinacea, my own ginger. We actually grow our own turmeric as well, but that's not in here. Elderberry, I have made it a priority when I learned what elderberry was and how to correctly identify that, because that is very important, y'all. I love to forage, but before I mess with anything in the woods, because I'm still learning myself too, before I go off in the woods and just pick any and everything, I want to be 100% certain that I know what I have is 100% without a doubt what I think it is. So when I was able to correctly identify elderberries, it's an elder tree, but the berries are called elderberries. So I learned how to propagate that tree, because where I actually found them was probably a half a mile this direction. And when I say a very snaky area, because elderberry actually love water. They love to be wet feet. So things like rosemary, thyme, a lot of those type herbs do not like to be wet. Elderberry, or the elder tree, loves lots of water. So you will actually find elder trees in the South growing just about along the ditches, roadside ditches. You just have to be careful there, because when people come and spray, obviously you don't want to get sprayed elder trees or the berries off of the trees. So just keep that in mind.